How's it going, everyone? We're back again. Decided I would do something, play a game I haven't played in... When did this game come out? I didn't realize this is Take Two, 2011. That was probably the last time I played it. I don't remember anything about this game. I remember it not being super easy, but our goal today is to get to the moon. I'm going to start off by doing the training missions. Like, how do you even do this? I can't remember. So we're going to do construction, basic flight, intermediate, suborbital flight. We're going to go all the way to go for orbit. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. And then we'll start a career. Welcome to today's lecture on vessel construction. I'm Werner von Kerman. Whether you want to put a satellite into orbit or make a transcontinental flight, or step onto the very surface of the moon, you're going to need to build yourself a ship. It should be pretty easy if you're not a famous rocket scientist. It should be pretty easy even if you're not a famous scientist. Oh yeah, you like the you like FTL? In this tutorial, first, okay, I'm not gonna read everything he says. We'll cover by removing parts. At the end of the tutorial, I can't believe I didn't win. I should have won that one. I just got screwed up at the end. End of each day. Okay, thank you. Kerbal Space. We are now at the Kerbal Space Center. I'll give you a quick rundown. Facilities. Okay, cool. Take time. Hover over each one. Okay, tracking station. A track station. All ongoing missions can be viewed and focused. Research and development. Astronaut complex. Administration building. Spaceplane hangar. Vehicle assembly. And launch pad. Okay. Now what do I need to do? And when you're ready, vehicle assembly. Okay. Very good. Well, see in the screen is the construction area with parts placed and your craft is constructed. On the left side of the screen are your parts toolbox. It'll show you all the parts we have available in each of the different categories. Once they're in the pick, that is. Okay. If you want your craft to be controllable, you need a command module. And it's best to make it first part you place. This part will either contain some plucky Kerbal crew or an automated pilot mechanism. As we're just starting, there's only one choice. Go ahead and pick the command module. Okay, boom. After at least one part is placed, you can look around with the following controls. Arrow keys or mouse to orbit. Oh, well, I guess I can't do anything until fished on him. Okay. If you'd like your pilot to be able to take more than one flight, he or she will have to return safely to the ground or water on Kerbin. Parachutes are a simple way to make sure this happens. They can be found under the Utility tab. If you're choosing parts, you can view the details. Is this a little loud? It seems a little loud. Alright, where you choose parts, you can view the details of available parts by hovering over them in the toolbox. When the info is available, most parts have an additional information window which can be opened. Okay, go ahead and select the MK16 parachute by left clicking it. And you said this is under what utility? Boom. There we go. Apply it to the top. Some parts, like our parachute here, have configurable options. To see these, you need a right click. On the parachute, you'll see that you can adjust our altitude and atmospheric pressure at which to open. That can be quite useful on distant worlds. For now, let's just check the opening height. Let's shoot at least 1,000 meters. We'll do like 1,500. And then we want 0.2. Minimum pressure is going to be 0.2. Okay. Next, we're going to need something to make us go up. Or to make us go. Click on engines on the left. Ba-boom. Look at that. Look at that. Alright. Grab one, connect to the bottom of the pod. You may need to move the camera or be able to do so. Okay, next. Oops, I forgot. You're just starting out. You're not a famous rocket scientist. And to make the craft survivable, it stands you'd have to be better at rocket science than me. Ha, impossible. The problem with this craft is that a solid rocket is too powerful for the payload, a single small pod, and a chute. It will either burn up on ascent from going too fast or burn up coming back down. Even if you survive that, the craft's mass will cause it to fall too fast in the parachute to operate poorly, and you'd hit the surface before you could stop it. Okay, I promise to teach you how to change all that and make it work in a later tutorial, but for now, let's continue. Well, at least this way I get to tell you about removing parts. Pick up the back thumper and either drop it or press delete. Okay. The fuel makes it go up, pretty much. Okay, instead, let's add a solid motor that's a better match for this ship of this size. At the start of your career, you will have what I consider rubbish parts, literally. The motor here looks like, and very well may be, a converted trash can. That said, it does have enough oomph to get this little craft moving skyward and quickly. As you progress, you'll be able to unlock more engines and other parts. For now, though, let's pick up the RT-5 Flea. There we go. There we go. That's a little more speed right there. Alright, once you've built the simplest survivable aircraft possible, we could launch this right now, but it might be safer to explain one other thing first. In the bottom right, you will see the staging stack. The bottom is number 0, the icon for the parachute, and the engines in it stack shows which parts will be activated as we stage our rocket. What this shows is that when we activate the next stage, both the engine and the parachute will also be triggered. While it could be considered funny to open the chute and fire the motors at the same time, it's not going to give you much of a flight. To fix this, we need to separate the engine and the chute into 2 stages. If you mouse over 0 stage, you will see a little plus and minus. Click the plus. Alright, so we're going to do that. If you add too many minuses, extra ones, remove them. Make sure you have precisely 2 stages. Okay, we have 2 stages. Okay. Excellent. It's important to know that the stages activate from the highest number, then count down. So our first stage will be 1, our second will be the chute. Now drag the engine from 0. Okay, we already did that. That's it. We now have a safe, well, relatively safe craft that's ready to go. Make sure that if we need this design again, we don't have to build it all from scratch. At the top of the screen, you'll see, okay, so click. Top screen, you see the name for our craft, untitled spacecraft, right here. Doesn't seem so majestic. Now I want to change it, more stylish. When you use load screens later, these names and descriptions help grab the right vessel. When you're happy, click save. Next. Excellent work. Feel free to play around with the parts, the techniques I've shown you, and when you're ready to continue, press the red button at the top right corner to exit. Okay. Alright, so we're going to leave, and that's going to take us to our second training scenario, basic flight. Welcome to the launch facility. I'm Gene Kerman, and I'll teach you basics of piloting a spacecraft. I trust you've already checked the basic instruction tutorial. If not, I recommend you do so before doing this. Today, we're going to run through all the important controls for your spacecraft, our little hopper, from your basic construction lesson with Werner. Wait, what? Can't understand what he's saying. Today we will do a run through of all the important controls of your spacecraft. Our little hopper from your basic construction lesson with Werner may not have all of them, but we'll do a full run through once and see how it flies. Press next. Flying a spacecraft is all about being in control of a generally very chaotic situation. As a pilot, your main flight controls will affect pitch, yaw, and roll of the ship. Let's lay that first. All our controls will be locked until they are needed on the tutorial as this. Okay, cool. Pitch and yaw and roll are the 3 directions you will rotate your craft. To help visualize, we've taken a holiday snap of the hopper below. Okay. So pitch is head over heels, yaw is spinning like a top, and roll is spiraling. Gotcha. Okay. So pitch up and down is S and W. Yaw is A and D, and Q and E is roll. Okay, by controlling pitch, yaw, and roll together, you keep the ship in a controlled flight. Try it now and notice the indicator on the left side as you move it. Oh, okay, so down here. Okay. Throttle plus pitch, yaw, and roll are the main controls you'll need to master successful crash-free flight. We'll skip over the throttle controls for now, as this vessel has no need for it. Don't worry, I'll explain another time when it's used. Remember that all these controls have a limited amount of effectiveness, so bigger, heavier ships will probably respond much more sluggish to the controls than this little one. It's all good to keep in mind as the stage is separated from the ship. It'll become lighter, and this will usually mean easier to control. In flight, all the planning you put in the staging sequence of your ship comes into play. From launch to the final deployment of the descent parachute, you control the activation of several ship's parts by activating stages. Space. Launch, activate, next stage. Notice that stage indicator in the left corner. It shows in the left corner. Okay, so now it's over here. It shows current active stage. Since we haven't launched it yet, it's showing the first stage is active. I have your staging controls locked for now, so the stage indicator is glowing purple. Right here. One more thing on staging. If staging setup is causing strife, or you change your mind about something, you can edit the stage sequence on the fly, pun intended. No need to go back to the assembly facility, okay? An important part of flying is knowing how your ship is oriented and where it's going. That's why a good pilot is always aware of the ship's altitude and where it's pointing, or attitude where it's pointing, and velocity vector where it's going. These aren't always the same direction, and as your skills improve, you should pick up on these. Big round instrument in the lower center of the screen is called the nav ball. This device sums up most of the critical information needed for proper death-free flight. Here, you and your ship's nose in relation to the horizon when you're not pointing straight in the sky is easily visible as a line between blue sky and brown ground. Okay. You also get several icons that indicate things like your current velocity vector, but we'll have to look at those later. Okay. In the top center part of the screen, up here, you have your altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and atmospheric gauges. The altimeter will show you the distance to the planet's surface at sea level. This means the actual surface may be much closer, so watch out for the ground when landing. Your vertical speed indicator shows how quickly your altitude is changing when launching. It's considered best to keep the gauge pointing up. The atmospheric gauge indicates how deep the ship is in the planet's atmosphere. This helps you know if the ship is high enough for orbiting without losing speed to air resistance, or judge how effective the wings and control surfaces will be. Okay, so that's this one. Okay. Can we fly now? One last thing before we give this rocket a green light. In the staging, you can see the indicator for your parachute. The indicator shows when the chute will be activated by staging. You already know that. But the background will also change colors to indicate when it is safe to stage the parachute. And the foreground, the parachute bit, okay, will change colors depending on the parachute state. Note, however, that by default, the parachute will not deploy when unsafe, even if you stage them. The left 3 show safety, safe, risky, unsafe. The right 3 show arm deployed and cut shredded. Okay. Okay. Enough talk. I'll unlock the flight controls and you'll be clear for launch. Anytime you may escape to pause the game, and in the pause menu you can restart the flight, or in this tutorial choose in this scenario. Okay. Now get yourself prepared for space when ready to launch. Get prepared and hit space when ready to launch. Don't forget, our hopper has only a solid rocket motor, so there is no throttle control. That's why we didn't review the throttle. Make sure to fly in a nice high arc and enjoy the flight. Oh God, we're gonna die. All right, I think I'm just gonna let her rip tater chip. We ready? Okay, everything looks good. Kind of head over water a little bit. Ooh. Am I going to be able to make it outer space? Oh, I messed up. Oh, I think I messed up. Maybe I didn't. I'm not going to quite make it out of the atmosphere. Oh, no. All right, let's just kind of keep it in control. All right, we're still going up, but only slightly. Okay, now we're starting to come down. I don't want it to come down like a missile. I want it to come down backwards if I can. Okay, we are now dropping pretty fast. Nope, we don't want to. All right, come on. Oh, okay, there's the chute. That should flip us around once we slow down. What we say, 1500? Okay, we're still going pretty fast. All right, we're going straight at the ground. The chute still hasn't deployed. That's supposed to deploy at 1500 meters. We're getting close. Now. Now. Oh. I think it deployed lower than it was supposed to. Hey, I think we did it. Valentina's doing good over here. Is this what Valentina sees? Oh my goodness, this is what Valentina sees inside. Now we sit back and enjoy the descent. And touchdown. Oh. Went sideways, but I guess that's fine. Let's Alright, board the ship. Don't drown yourself. Okay. Alright, she's back here. See? Well done. You survived your first quick flight. When you're landed or splashing curbing and not in training, you can point the mouse over the altimeter and click the recovery button on the panel. I've also unlocked the crew hatch, so if you feel like going out for a walk or a swim. Oh, so you can swim. Okay, so let's actually do that then. EVA. Oh, that's funny. Climb up the ship. Yeah. All right. Grab and board. Okay, nice. Done. All right, I think that is it for that one. In scenario. Intermediate construction. All right, we're just going to go through this one a lot faster. I'm not going to read everything. Here we go again. We're going to use the flea again. Okay, we're going to open, hopper, load. We're going to remove the flea. Unlike last time, you won't bring the whole vessel back, so we can change our parachute stats for what we used for. Right-click on the parachute, verify its deployment is set to 1,000 like last time, okay? But also that's minimum pressure sliders at 0.75, okay? So max, okay? That corresponds with the altitude on Kerbin. It's about 2 kilometers and means much shorter time of hanging around during descent. Okay. First off, let's change the name of our craft and our description if you want. So you'll still have the trash can special for later on. We'll call this the jumper. Okay, great. For this craft, we're going to give the ship some additional purpose attached to science experiment. We can run these experiments during our travels and get valuable science data for our Kerbal kind. There are a number of science experiments to be performed, but at the moment we only have the mystery goo containment unit available. Switch to the science tab to look at it. Okay. This is one of the most basic scientific experiments Kerbal scientists have devised, and one of the first things they will try to understand better. I mean, they don't even know what the color of the goo is. When you pick up the part, you will see that it's designed to attach to the sides of other parts, i.e. radially. If we attach only one of these, then during our flight, the craft will be unbalanced. One way to solve this is to add an extra goo container to the opposite side of the rocket so they balance. Luckily, we have a symmetry tool to help. These buttons control symmetry, highlight, angle swap, and can be found in the lower left of the screen. Press the symmetry button or press the X or key to cycle through available options. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay, so we just need 2, right? Set this to 2x. Place it near the top. You'll notice the second one has been placed opposite the first. If you have already placed a lone canister, pick it up. Make sure symmetry is correct. Alright. If we add too many more parts here, the crafts are able to be too heavy to survive re-entry safely and too heavy to be slowed by our parachute, leading to sudden impact syndrome. So we will need to add a decoupler below the pod. Decouplers can be found on our coupling tab. Alright. Well done. You'll recall, I hope, that in the previous tutorial we had adjusted staging stack when we added the rocket. When you add a decoupler, extra stages automatically added to the stack, so any new parts below the coupler won't be staged at the exact time. So you can, of course, move these around, but hopefully it'll save you some time as you go. If you ever want to return to stage, reset button. Okay. Okay, this time we're going to use liquid propellant rocket engine. Unlike solid state motors, these engines don't carry their own propellants with them, so we need to add some fuel tanks. Go to the fuel tanks tab. We are still using these early parts, so there's only the FTL 100s available. This is another area like engines where advancement brings bigger and better parts. We're going to need 5 of these tanks to get us up to space. Before you grab 5 from part toolbox, though, let me give you another tip. Because efficiency is my middle name, it goes right after Vaughn. Once you place the first down on the rocket, you can duplicate by holding left Alt key and clicking on the tank. You can do this at the bottom tank a few times and quickly get 5 attached. Okay, so let's get fuel. Oh, okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's all fuel. Good. Switch over to engines tab now. The swivel liquid fuel engine. The swivel engine you see here is obviously different from the flea we used before. This is a liquid engine and it needs and burns both liquid fuel and oxidizer. Funnily enough, that's what we just added to the rocket. So attach this to the bottom. Alright, we're almost done and you're doing fine. Maybe not as speedily as someone of my caliber though. The last thing we're going to need to give this rocket a little bit of stability so we keep it the way we want it to go. We will achieve this by adding some fins near the bottom of the rocket. The fins can be found in the aerodynamics tab. Set it to 4x. Okay. Also turn on angle snap. I'm not sure what the difference is. By clicking the button highlighted, that'll help you align the fins neatly. Okay. Drop a fin on the last rocket tank. Select right there. Okay. Actually, now I got a rocket that will let us reach for the stars. Admittedly, I did say reach for. This basic rocket which can't achieve orbit, but on the bright side, that means re-entry will also be basic. You've done a great job. Okay, cool. Ooh, look at all. Oh my goodness. There's so much. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright, cool. Launch pad. Actually, hold on. Let's just go back here. Because now we want this. Hello again. Okay, cool. Okay, your mission today is to make a short suborbital, less than orbit flight over the water to the east. It is nice arcing path. It's a nice arcing path that ensures a gentle, survivable re-entry. Straight up and straight down is not good for survival. I've sent a pink indicator on the. I've set up pink indicator on nav ball to indicate aim point, but do note this is not a case for a normal mission. The target marker is normally used for other things and does not help with ascents. Starting with the nose pointed straight up on the launch pad or 9-degree elevation from the eastern horizon, tilt east. Which way is east? 80 degrees elevation on the nav ball by 150 meters. Tilt east 70 degrees on the nav ball by 400 meters. After burnout, coast up into space and have a look around. Prepare for re-entry. Lastly, re-enter and land safely. Once we have burnout, we'll have a bit more time to discuss some other things. Okay, so east. How do I know? How do I know where east is? This only shows degrees. No. I don't know how we know what east is. Messages. Unlike the Hopper in our first lesson, the new craft has liquid fuel that we could use to throttle. Okay, so throttle is controlled by left shift, left control, and then Z and X. Try this out now. You'll see the indicator needle. Okay, so... Oh, okay. So there it is right there. And then Z and X. Okay, cool. SAS stands for Stability Augmentation System. Although Kerbal astronauts usually refer to a sickness avoidance scheme, whatever it stands for, what it does is tries to stop the ship from spinning around unless the computer-controlled auto torque drive compensator technology to counteract the rotation of the ship. In its simplest mode, we can keep the ship aligned in its orientation when you turn SAS on. Okay, right there. SAS can be activated momentarily by holding the F key, or it can be toggled by pressing T. If you have a problem following the maneuvers, once you enable SAS to lift off, you can click a small red button to the left of the nav ball. There's a miniature target indicator. This will cause SAS to follow the target indicator. Oh, okay. Okay. This will cause the SAS follow target indicator to fly for you. Note, this autopilot function will not be available until you're flying. Oh, okay. Well, duh. This craft has a bit too much engine. This craft has a bit too much engine, so we're going to throttle down for launch. Set your throttle to 2/3. Also turn on SAS help control. Press T. About to sneeze. It'll keep pointing the right direction. During its about to sneeze again. During its lesson, some of the information is quite detailed. And could take a while to read. As this is a short suborbital hop, I don't want you to miss anything important. I'll place warnings at the top of the page where you might want to pause the game to read. The warning will this warning. Detailed info. Press escape to pause if necessary. Okay. Okay, enough talk. I'll unlock the rest of the flight controls. Anytime you may press escape to pause the game. Okay. I've enabled the target marker on the nav ball. Give it a look. Make sure you see it. And then let's get ready to light this candle. Double click your throttle. Double check your throttle. Set to 2/3. SAS is enabled. Hit space when you're ready to launch. Remember to start turning at 50 meters per second. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. 50 meters per second. I want to start tilting. Here we go. Oh, there we go. I want to aim for the pink mark. Excellent. We got this rocket just where it needs to be in order to reach space. You should be able to let SAS keep the craft steady for a while as we accelerate further. Go ahead and throttle up to full power. Oops, looks like you're not going to clear the atmosphere. Press escape and choose revert flight. Okay, that's because I went too aggressively. I tilted way too far. So revert launch. Okay, let's try this again. So I just got to follow that pink indicator. T. 2/3 throttle. There. There. All right, here we go. Oh, this is much better now. Okay, now we're gonna go full throttle. Hold course and we'll reach stage burnout safely. Warning, detailer, great work. You succeeded in getting your ship on trajectory bound for space. I've now set your target indicator to align with your velocity vector. Yep, you're saying words now. That'll minimize drag by turning the smallest side of the vehicle into the airflow. Somewhere around here, you'll see where the nav ball indicator auto switch from surface to orbit accompanied by speed number jumping. Go ahead and switch it back to surface mode by clicking it till it says surface again. You might have noticed some flickering flames near the end of our burn here, which is due to the high speed of your craft in the atmosphere. Normally our ascent would be a little slower, but I'm sure my friend Werner has helped you build a ship that can withstand this heat, and besides this high and this slow, you'll be fine. If you want to have a look at your trajectory, you can switch to map and look at your projected path. Just remember to come back to flight mode again. Now that you're coasting our way to Apopsis, that's the highest point. Apoapsis. Apoapsis is the highest point on our current projected path. We've got time to chat. Once you clear the atmosphere, we'll go over this in space. Okay, so resume flight. Check the map. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're currently ascending. We're still going up. We are about to leave the atmosphere. It's so quiet. We're just about to leave the atmosphere, but we won't quite make it. We are slowing down quite a bit. Oh, you know, we are actually going to clear the atmosphere. But only barely. Okay. While we float up here beyond the atmosphere, I'll quickly tell you about a couple of things you can do. With an advanced enough astronaut complex in the KSC, we can train our Kerbals to be able to do spacewalks. Although we won't be doing that on this flight. Also, we can carry scientific devices like our goo containers for experiments. Feel free to play with the goo canisters now by right-clicking on them. I'll let you know when it's time for the next phase of the suborbital flight. Okay, resume. We're going to observe the goo. Wait, I need to read mystery goo in space. Inoperable after transmitting size. Near the Caribbean goo seems to have clumped into a sphere. It also appears to have become brittle. Keep experiment. Also, it's not following our little thing here. We're almost to the top of the flight. Alright, now we're going to start our descent. As we near the edge of the atmosphere again, it's time to reorient the pod to get ready for re-entry. We're only going to re-enter with the pod and chute and goo canisters, but we're not going to decouple yet. In the real mission, it's best to keep your upper stages around until the last moment. You never know when you might need it. Anyways, it's best to re-enter bottom first. Since we ascended at about a 70-degree pitch, we'll naturally re-enter at about a negative 70-degree pitch. That means you want to aim the top of the capsule at the 70-degree pitch line, but the opposite heading. This is that heading at 270 on the nav ball and 70 degrees pitch. Where was pitch again? Oh, I see. Okay. Turn SAS off to change the attitude. Okay. Nice. Now hold steady. New attitude. Let SAS do the job. Okay, so let's turn SAS back on. And get ready to decouple the stage and start re-entry. Okay. Now it's time to get rid of the boosters. This is just weigh us down. Stage and discard the unneeded parts. During re-entry, with your pod oriented this way. Why the music just stopped? Hold on. During re-entry, with pod oriented this way. Drag producing items near the top. Aerodynamic forces alone will hold it properly stabilized. So it's time to turn off SAS and let the air do the work for you. Once it's off, and you've hit atmosphere, we'll move to the next bit, okay? All right. You're now re-entering Kerbin's atmosphere. Make sure to keep all hands and feet out of the pod at all times. We don't want you getting burnt or anything. Don't mind the flames. Werner is a world-famous rocket scientist after all. He's built the ship to withstand them. Last time we watched the parachute icon to wait for the right time to shoot. This time we're going to do something a little different. Remember the construction tutorial where you designed this vessel, you set the chute to not semi-deploy until 0.75 atmosphere of pressure? That means the chute won't perform its first of its 2 deployment steps until then. If you activate it by staging now on Kerbin at 0.75 ATM, that means about 2,000 meters above altitude sea level, the craft should be traveling slowly enough that the chute will survive deployment. So let's take a bold step of arming the chute now and let the smarts in there pop it at the right altitude. You can, you can trust me. Stage the chute now by pressing space. While we're waiting, oh crap! Whoops. While we're waiting, if you want to look at the bottom of the capsule, you notice that you don't have a heat shield. No, we do not. You don't need one because this is such a gentle flight. Actually, a heat shield would make things more dangerous on this craft because the additional mass will be pushing the limits of the module of parachute. Okay, cool. All right, so now the atmosphere, as it gets thicker, is going to basically force the direction of the pod. So it's going to cause it to stabilize. And then we're not going to do anything with the chute. Hopefully the chute is going to deploy when it's supposed to. We're at 13,000 feet and dropping. The pod's about to be destroyed. Or not the pod, the stage 1. 8,000 feet. We are slowing down because of the atmospheric pressure. Or resistance, I guess. Does it still not hit the water? Okay, it just splashed down. Alright, we're coming straight down. You can even adjust the parameters during flight. Don't touch the pressure slider or bad things will happen. Make sure fully deploy altitude is no less than 1,000 meters or you'll not have enough time to slow down. Once you're satisfied, just hang until about 2,000 and watch the parachute trigger itself according to the settings. Yeah, they were good. There we go. There we go. Slow it down. There we go. All right. Can't I like speed up time or something like that? There's a way to speed up time. I don't know how to do that though. Island Airfield, Kerbal Space Center. We did it! Welcome back. Congratulations, complete your first, and even survive your first real mission. You managed to launch and control the vessel into space, orient yourself correctly, and land safely. It's quite an achievement. All right. I think in scenario, is there one more? All right, we're going to do these last two. Advanced construction. There are lots more parts available. However, main principles, if you mess up, say, someone managed to delete your whole craft control suite. Okay, cool. You have only one pod. Wait, no, I don't. If you click on main, you try again. Okay. Just like last time, select the parachute. And just like last time, adjust the parachute to the parameters, right clicking. So minimum pressure 75. This our stage be finished. Okay, we're going to construct an upper stage. This upper stage will finish placing the pod in orbit, and once there, provide RCS steering thrusters and electricity for the pod. It will also provide all maneuvering capability in orbit, including re-entry burn. It's going to consist of a decoupler. We don't want to carry it home. An RCS fuel tank, a liquid fuel tank, and 4 RCS thrusters, 4 solar panels, 4 batteries, and an efficient upper stage engine. It's quite a shopping list, isn't it? So let me know when you're ready to proceed. First, we'll add a stack coupler below the pod to let us discard the parts we don't want to bring back with us. Grab a decoupler from the toolkit. Okay. Attach to the bottom. Paying close attention to the red arrows, so as we discussed before, pointed up. Yep. Make sure decoupler is oriented the right way. If the arrows are pointing down, that's not good. Detach from the pod. Okay, now they're pointed up. Okay. Next, we'll add RCS tanks. It stands for Reaction Control System. Fuel will help us with fine maneuvers. Go to the tank category. We want the FLR 120. Oh, right here. Right here, RCS. Your craft is not going to need all the monopropellant in the tank, so save some weight, right click, and only do 96 units. We'll add multiple liquid fuel tanks in this stage to get the right amount. For upper stage engine, we'll need an extra tank to offset the weight of the RCS. Wait, what? We'll be adding multiple liquid fuel tanks on this stage. To get the right amount for the upper stage engine, we need an extra tank to offset the weight. So add a tiny rocket propellant tank. It's one named FLT-100 fuel tank, and then add a medium one below it. Okay. Add a Terrier engine. Lastly, for the main part of the upper stage, we'll need an engine. The Terrier engine produces almost no thrust at sea level air pressure, but is highly efficient in space and above 20,000 kilometers, or 20 kilometers, where the atmosphere is thin enough to not interfere with the exhaust. This makes it a good choice for upper stage, since the engines will not be activated until the rocket has reached conditions where its kind of engine works well. If you select the wrong engine, always throw it away. Okay, so we need a Terrier engine, which is going to be this one. Boom. All right. Nicely done. That's a pretty well assembled upper stage, if I do say so myself. It'll get you to orbit if you put enough rockets under it. While we have this reasonably simple vessel here, let's explore one of the other useful tools we have available. To make sure the ship flies controllably, some of the parts need to be placed carefully around a point inside the ship called the center of mass. The center of mass is a spot where the mass on one side of the ship is balanced by the mass on the other side of the ship. Thrust applied through the center mass will cause the ship to move without unwanted rotation, while thrust properly applied around center mass will cause the ship to rotate without moving. This makes the center mass such a useful and important thing that we've added a tool so the assembly building can show you with a marker. Let's have a look at it. Show the indicator how it works. Click on the center mass indicator, and we'll have a play here. Here's a picture of it. Okay, let's adjust the fuel levels some in the fuel tanks and see how it affects center mass. Right click on each of the fuel tanks and grab the fuel down to 0. Don't touch my propellers, they won't be burned by Terry. Are you? Oh, am I supposed to do both of them? The oxidizers as well. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so now the center of gravity has moved way up. During flight, the vessel's center of gravity will move in the same way as it burns fuel until the tanks are empty. Okay, now go ahead and refill the tanks. We can proceed to add some of the accessories to our upper stage. They'll transform it from merely something that gets us in orbit to something that helps us once we're there, okay? The green guy is looking like an alien version of Dwight Schrute. Okay, alright. He's got a mustache. Where to place RCS thrusters. Now that you know where the center of mass is and the stage is full and when it is empty, you have the information you need to place RCS thrusters. RCS thrusters found in the command and control. Moving the spaceship without rotating is called translation. This is a useful kind of maneuvering for several reasons, including docking with other craft in order for... Okay. What makes it Oh my god. What makes it complicated? This is a lot. Okay, you need to balance the thrusters around the center of mass so the net sum of forces is balanced right to the natural pivot point. For 2 equal sets of thrusters, each set should be equidistant from the center of mass, and for a single set, what we're doing here, they should be right around the center of mass itself. What makes this complicated is that center of mass changes during flight, as you saw, so you need to place the thrusters in a compromised point between the wet and dry center of mass, okay? Note that in career mode game, RCS don't become available until you're fairly late. In the meantime, the reaction wheel capability built into your command pod will probably be enough for turning the ship. Okay, good. Let's turn the angle snap. Let's turn on the angle snap to make the lining of thrusters part easy. To do that, click on toggling icon. Okay, C, we already know about that. Ensure we have 4 times symmetry. Then place a set of 4 RV105 RCS thrusters. What was it under? Right here. Oh, okay, I'm understanding. These are the things that are basically going to allow us, once we're in outer space, to make the micro adjustments when we have no resistance. Okay, on the upper stage. So is about right. Place these. The tiny rocket propellant tank is about the right height to place these. So like right here. Make sure to turn the angle snap off before using the offset. Wait. There we go. Okay, that looks fine. Wait, what? If you don't get placement quite right, you can also use the offset gizmo. What's the offset gizmo? Is that this? It wasn't saying do it up here, was it? I'm not understanding. Okay, let's read it again. Let's turn on angle snap. Okay, it's on now. Ensure we have 4x symmetry. Grab the boosters. The tiny rocket propellant tank should be about right. Okay, which one is what is the okay, stop. What is the tiny So it's this one. It's about the right height to place these, just in case you need a hint. You use the offset gizmo. I don't know what the offset gizmo is. Make sure you turn on angle snap before using the offset. Turn off angle snap before using the offset. I don't know what you mean by the offset. I don't think I want to put it up there. I'm not understanding. Upper left, it says something up here, offset. Upper left of the main editor window, just to the right of the parts list. I am so confused. What do you mean just to the right of the parts list? It's gotta be talking about this, right? Select the part to offset. Okay, I see. But I want the snapping on. Okay. Okay, now we'll turn that off, and we're gonna go where are those thrusters at? There. Select part to rotate. Oh, I see. Okay. And now when you're all done, turn off center mass overlay. Okay, go back to place mode. There we go. All right. That was a lot of random stuff. Okay. Lots of things on this craft. Use EC, electric charge. That's what cool scientists call rocket electricity. In order to keep your batteries topped off, you'll need a way to generate power. Now, some engines generate electricity while they're running, but you don't want to keep your engine running in orbit. Your orbit will get all kinds of messed up, and you'll run out of propellant. Our command pod has some batteries built into it, but to be safe, you can add more batteries, and you can add solar panels or other electricity generating items. We're going to do both. Switch to electrical category. Ensure we have angle snap turned on and 4x symmetry mode. We'll use our part rotation skill to adjust the panels before placing them. Grab OX stat. Hold it over the end of the fuel tanks. Hold it over the lower end of the fuel tanks. And press A to rotate it 90 degrees. And click OK. Now go ahead and place batteries between the solar panels. Excellent work. We built a nice starter upper stage, which will do well for some orbital exploration. Now we need to get work on getting into orbit, and for that we need our lower stage. In comparison to the upper stage, is quite simple. Just a couple of tanks and an engine. You won't be enough power alone, so we'll add some boosters too. So add another decoupler. Not there. There we go. And notice how we added a decoupler. A fairing is placed around the engine. This will get jettisoned automatically when we decouple, okay? Now we'll need to add fuel tanks to our lower stage. So we'll need the FL400. Well, two of them. One and two. For our lower stage, we need engines. That's a sustainer. That's an engine that burns from liftoff until well after the boosters separate. Let's get scientific for a second. Rocket engine performance is measured by specific impulse, or ISP. And the ISP of an engine changes as the amount of atmospheric pressure around it changes. Just as the upper stage need an engine that's good at lower pressure and high altitude, the lower stage will need boosters that are powerful at the higher air pressure and lower altitude of the launch pad. And to help carry the rocket through transition from launch to upper stage, and we'll need a sustainer engine, which will usually sit between the booster and the upper stage engine from a performance perspective, having a wide range in between the two. So add the big engine you see called the swivel. Okay. As default thrust level, a swivel is too powerful for the rockets we're creating, and for that ascent profile, we're going to teach you how to go, teach you to go forward. So you'll need to lower its thrust level. This isn't a good solution, as picking a smaller, lighter engine with the thrust levels we want, but well, there are only so many options. Right-click swivel, lower the thrust limiter to 65. Hello? Boom. Of its full thrust potential, so it will also run longer because it's not burning, but it's on because it's only burning 65 as much fuel, 65% as much fuel. Nice. You now have the core of your rocket completed. But as I said before, we're going to be adding boosters to help the sustainer engine get the rocket up and running. We'll add 2 boosters symmetrically so that we keep our craft balanced, and to make sure we don't lug unless dry mass of boosters around after I can't read, so that we keep our craft balance and we make sure we don't lug the useless dry mass of the boosters around after burnout. We'll attach them using decouplers. This time, however, we used a radial decoupler so the boosters can set beside the lower stage core instead of under it. That way sustainer boosters can fire at the same time. Okay, so we're going to grab these and we're only going to do 2. Near the bottom of the lower tank on the lower stage. Okay. More boosters, something you often hear around KSC, and now it's time to add some. Add a pair of RT10 hammer SRBs to decoupler so we have extra kick early on. Okay. Unlike liquid-fueled engines where you can adjust the throttle during flight, once you light an SRB, it burns at constant thrust until it runs out of fuel. We can, however, use the throttle limiter as we did on a swivel to set a constant thrust before we roll out to the launch pad. Right-click and set the limiter to 50. Okay. Remember when I said I'd teach you how to make that pod and thumper craft from construction based on survival? Well, this thrust adjusting is how that could have been done, although you'd also have to put a decoupler on it. Okay, add a nose cone. Now the SRBs have a flat pancake top, which is simply not a good look. Oh, and bad aerodynamically. Let's fix that by adding nose cones. What's it under? Aerodynamics. Boom. While we're on the tab of the toolbox, let's add some fins to the fins. Come various sizes and styles, as we learned earlier, will help stabilize your craft. Since these fins are control surfaces, they also add some extra control authority when low in the atmosphere, where the air is thick enough for them to have useful impact. Add the AVR8 winglets and 4x symmetry near the bottom of the lowest fuel tank in the lowest stage, and make sure they don't intersect with decouplers. Okay, so that we want 4, so like that. Okay, excellent. We now have all the components on our basic overflight. But let's run a few extra things before we call it a day. First, you should review the staging stack to check the order of actions. It's lucky I've highlighted this for you because SRBs are set to fire before the sustainer, and that just won't do. You won't have enough thrust to get off the pad that way. Move the swivel stage icon down into the same stage. Okay, so the swivel, this one here, we want here. So all three of those are going to fire at the same time. Note that automatically creates a staging sequence. Would work if we did not want the long burst, but since we do, we had to adjust manually. Okay. Finally, pick up the pod and rotate it 90 degrees. The pod? Around its axis. This will rotate a ship not just in the VAB, but also set the orientation when we go to the launch pad so that our desired flight has compass 90 degrees. Okay. But if that's the case, then I want to do, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I wish I would have known I would put this on sides, but it's fine. We always make every effort to ensure our crew survive, and hopefully you'll take the same stance in our space program. It does always work out that way. Okay. With that in mind, let's set up an abort action group for your craft to use in case of emergency. Note that in career mode, you'll have to upgrade the VAB or SPH in order to access this group. Click on the turquoise action group button on the left of the toolbar. It's part of the cluster of 3 buttons. Wait. Oh. Wait, what? Wait, what? Turquoise action group buttons on the left of the toolbar. These are turquoise. Oh, yeah, that is right. Okay, and then hit next. Okay, action groups allow you to assign functions of one or more parts, single specific key. There's some default action groups. Landing near automatically go to the gear group. Brakes on wheels go to the brake group. And some custom ones activated by the keyboard, not keypad numbers. Because of the order of these keys on standard boards, the action groups are 1 through 9 and then 0. To set up an action group, click desired action key. I've never done any of this. To add and remove items, you simply click them. Okay, we're going to set up an abort action group. It's triggered by pressing backspace or by clicking the red abort button in flight. It slides out from the left of the altitude panel on the top of the screen. First, click on the abort button. I don't see anything that says abort. Oh, right there. Great. Now click on the decoupler right below the pod and add its decouple action. Right here. Then click on each. Then click on each liquid engine. Turn aside their shutdown function to the group. Wait, what? Oop, whoops. That. Decouple. Decouple. Click on each liquid engine. Shut down. Finally, click on one of the radial decouplers and decouple. Now, when you trigger the abort action in flight, the engines will shut down, or if they can't shut down, be decoupled. The capsule will separate from the rest of the ship, and it should be safe to land by itself. Remember to deploy your parachute once it's safe, however. This may require staging a number of times, since the stage counter won't advance by itself. Okay? So that's it, right? Oh, wait. Shut down. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, this right here. What? I don't know what, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. Okay, I did something wrong. I don't care to figure it out right now. Don't save. We're going to go to the last one, and it's going to just have our ship that we're already doing. Go for orbit. Here we go. Boom. Here we go. Okay. Today we'll tackle an absolute essential skill for any space program getting to orbit. Without the skill, we might as well be teaching you Kerbal's flight simulator. I trust you've already checked our flight tutorials as well as the advanced instructions. You're familiar with Kerbal 1's vessel we'll be launching today. If not, okay, cool. Okay, alright, let's do it. As said before, the plan here is to get our vessel and pilot safely into orbit. As with the, where to go? As with suborbital flight we did before, we will follow a curved path to get to the point where we can circularize our orbit. Today's gravity turn, however, is going to be much shallower than the path we followed previously, so that we build speed towards the orbit. This is different from how Kerbal space pilots of old did it. They would head straight up and hang a right as if the air was a super something. We'll be turning early and smoothly, but don't turn too far or you might mistake one of those or you might be mistaken for one of those low-flying turkeys. Okay. As with the previous flight, place the target marker on the nav ball. Okay, cool. So now set up your throttle to the max, press Z, and prepare to launch. You should now see the marker on the nav ball, so you'll have something to follow, and this this ship has been designed so you don't need to worry about throttle controls during ascent. Press space when you're ready to go for orbit. If you want Valentina Kerbal to fly the curve for you, you can enable SAS, which I'm going to do, and set the mode to target after liftoff. Okay. We ready? So far, so good. We'll have her fly it. That blew up. I think we're going too fast. Keep following the target indicator. I'm letting her fly now because I was not doing well. I'm going to rotate it slightly. Okay. Get ready for stage. Okay. All right, our trajectory is getting farther. Hit space. It's blowing up too close. Oh, shucks. Something wrong here. You're way off course. You need to be quick about following the instruction. If you're having trouble controlling your vessel... I did set it SAS. Boom. If you stop to try and reach order on your own...
Do you want me to fix you something to eat? Doesn't have to be soup.
I'll take a little soup. Okay, we're going to try and reach orbit. I don't think we're going to have enough propellant to do it. We're trying, though. I think I did everything right. I'm not sure what happened. All right, we're still gaining speed. We have a chance. Once we reach here, we won't be able to do it if we haven't cleared it in time, though, I don't think. But since we're getting faster, we're pushing the apoapsis further. Ooh. We're actually pushing it further. We might actually be able to do this as long as we don't run out of fuel. Oh my goodness, we're about to do it. We're so close. Okay. Okay. So, we're not in orbit yet. We're not in orbit yet. We are close, though. So, as we come around the back side, we're going to have to hit those thrusters again. Because right now, in fact, let's change our rotation. To like there. We're slowing ourselves down. Okay, so that just brought in our how far out we're gonna go. So now we'll reset our rotation. I'll let her go back to flying. Now there's a way to speed up time. I just don't know how. Oh, here we go. Cannot warp time during this scenario? Are you kidding me? Where are we right now? Oh, this is going to take forever. What if I do something like this? Wait. Boom. What if I fire off something like that? Will that work? We're about to find out. If not, we're going to have to relaunch it. That didn't work. Okay, let's revert flight. I'm not sure why the decoupler stuff blew up. Okay, Z. I'm gonna have her do all the flying as soon as we launch. Okay, she's doing the flying now. I'll prompt you along the way. I think it could have been because I launched them when there was still fuel in them, maybe? You're almost out of fuel, so get ready to eject them by pressing space when it's time. Hit space now. I don't think I want to hit space now because the other one's got fuel. Because if that's the case, I should have hit space on all of them at the same time. I should have decoupled these, had them in their own stage. When this one burns out, I'm gonna hit space. What is going wrong? I don't understand. Alright, we're just going to see if we can make this happen. If you stop for it, you try to reach orbit on your own, you can try and abort landing safely as well. Always, otherwise, please restart. I don't understand what happened. I'll try something wrong. You're way off course. You need to be quick about following instructions. If you're having trouble controlling your vessel, set to SAS follow target mode. As I explained. You'll just have to worry about staging. Once you've seen how it should be flown, then you can try flying it manual. Don't feel bad. It takes a lot of practice. I'm still not understanding what I'm doing wrong. The problem is the engine that I'm running off of right now. No, actually it might be fine. I might be able to. Yeah, I should be able to get back into orbit, I think. So we got to get out of the atmosphere. Which we're getting close to. I think that's what we didn't do last time. We didn't make it out of the atmosphere. Oh, everything's starting to overheat. Everything's starting to overheat. That's not good. Oh, that's not good. We're still going for it. We are out of fuel. We are not going to make orbit. We are going to crash into those mountains right there in like a day. Well, again, I don't know what's going on. Revert flight. How to prevent explosion during Kerbal go for orbit. Explosion during ascent. Add separatrons to ensure boosters clear the rocket. Go for it. Tutorial can cause issues if throttle's kept. Reduce throttle to around 45 immediately after launch to stop rockets from veering off course. Increase throttle to 75 after boosters attach and only 100 once higher up. Gotcha. Okay, so I said I thought we were going too fast and they were just exploding. Okay, here we go. Let's try it again. So he didn't say to do that. All right, next, boom. Set your throttle to max. We did that. SAS, we're gonna do that. Okay, here we go. He specifically says, don't worry about your throttle. Okay, we're going to keep it full throttle for now until we get closer to being out of the atmosphere. That was better. Problem is, I might have slowed down too long to make it out. I need it to break free. I still don't know what's happening there. Maybe I should tilt it backwards. Let's try it again. I'm going to try tilting it backwards when I launch so it releases underneath me, maybe. Revert flight. He really doesn't say to do any of that stuff, so I feel like, I don't know. I'm going to do it for both of them, actually. Z, yep. Yep. Alright, go for launch. Okay. We're still looking good here. It still didn't work, but we're good. Because I didn't make it where it blew up the rest of the ship. So we are still on track to make orbit. Okay, here we go. Great. Now you can keep your eye on the trajectory with the track our future path. If you hover over the apopsis on the note, apoapsis on the map, you'll be able to see the estimated height, altitude, or future path. You can right-click on marker, pin it. It makes it visible even when you move your mouse. Also be able to keep along the path until we clear atmosphere by a handy margin. We'll aim for 80 kilometers. Cut the engine once the apoapsis hits 80 kilometers. I'll cut it for you once it passes 81. Meanwhile, I'll keep an altitude display open so you can track your progress ascending, and an apoapsis display to track your progress reaching. Okay, so when it hits 80K, I need to cut the throttle. We're almost out of the atmosphere. All right, when this hits 80, we're gonna stop it. 50. Yeah, so I had it last time, I think. I just didn't go far enough. $60. 70. All right. Coasting along. Ooh, look how close that is. And that's going to get us there. I've made sure the engine is shut off, and now we'll coast till we're clear the atmosphere at 70,000 kilometers. You may notice your speed dropping a little bit as we coast. There's nothing to be concerned about. It's just gravity trying to bring us down and the air trying to prevent our success. We'll beat it, though. You're looking good. Meanwhile, I'll keep the altitude display so you can see and track your progress while ascending. Okay. So, I think what's going to happen is once we hit apoapsis, we're going to I think once we hit the apoapsis, that's when we're going to have to hit the thrusters again, and that's what's going to get, I forget what the negative side is called, so we can actually maintain the orbit. Our altitude is at 60,000. We got to get up to 70,000. Man, we got to get all the way to the moon. Sorry, 11. Ooh. Don't know if we're gonna make the moon today. Maybe we just need to try and get this. Is still training. Like I have to go through my actual missions. Maybe we can get to orbit today. Maybe that's the goal. Okay, we're getting close to 70. We're still not out of the atmosphere yet. Alright, we have passed. Now you're clear of the atmosphere. We can warp ahead through time to get to the apoapsis more quickly. Important rocket scientists like us have no time to waste. Press next. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. Okay, so we've sped up time. So once we get here, we're going to have to hit the propeller again. Okay. We're almost there. Now what you need to do is accelerate some so that we fall past Kerbin. That's basically what the orbit is, falling and missing. Gravity will be pulling us towards the center of Kerbin, but we'll be traveling so fast that we constantly miss. Rotate your craft in alignment with the prograde marker. We'll learn more about this later. Or use SAS to maneuver mode. Retrograde, or what did it say? To prograde. 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 Okay, there we go. When it's time to throttle up, I'll tell you. Okay, so the yellow marker is the intended. The green marker is current. So we're currently going to crash into the... whatever that is right there, the land. So we're approaching apoapsis. We're about to launch. I'll cut... just once you complete your burn, I'll calculate for you. Or you can do it yourself once you're in stable orbit. Now throttle up. There we go, there we go, there we go. Congratulations, you're now officially in orbit. That's quite an achievement. Hopefully you can see the difference between the suborbital hoop and reaching orbit ascent. And just how far and early we turned. Also, notice how we designed our rockets to accelerate reasonably through the ascent and didn't go straight to ludicrous speed, overpowering the ship is a common rookie mistake. That's as far as I'll be taking you today. We can catch up again, orbiting 101, where I'll show you about orbiting and adjusting them. If you want to fly solo for a bit, you can try bring Galicia home from the tutorial flight. You'll need to do a 180-degree burn retrograde until your apoapsis is less than 20 km, at which height the atmosphere will do most of the braking for you. Stage away the upper stage when you hit the atmosphere edge. Orientate retrograde and re-enter like I taught you in flight basic tutorial in the scenario. Okay, we're gonna try that. First things first. We are in orbit, so we will continue this forever. So it's going to keep trying to pull us in, and our speed's going to keep pushing us back out. So we are a satellite. Look at that. Now, the way you do it is you expand your orbit to hit the moon, and then it incorporates the moon's orbit. But we don't have enough fuel for that. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it retrograde. And now we want the apoapsis to be 20K. I hit the wrong button. Well, I hit the wrong button again. We're now dead. Okay, well, in scenario. Alright, now let's play the game. Start a new game, career to the moon. Overwrite, yeah. Nice to meet you. I'm Gene Kerman, the flight director and your guide. For a quick introduction, this is Space Air. Feel free to have a look around. Okay, cool. Thanks, I got it. So, we could make a quick buck from the scientists and R&D team collect by selling exclusive research rights to highest bidder. Yes, that means we wouldn't be able to make use of that science ourselves. For exclusive rights, I'm sure we could fetch a pretty penny. We must be in dire straits to consider such a... Okay, we're not doing a bailout grant. Okay. So what do I need to do? Mission control. Okay, one of the founding principles of Kerbin's world first world record-keeping society is to continue to advance frontier science. We still have unchecked items on our list, records to break, and would like to change that. Okay. Give us a quick crew report before launching. It's fine if any of the lights controls are flashing, just give us a swift kick. Recover or transmit any science experiments from Kerbin. From Kerbin. Okay, so we're going to start with that one. So we don't even have to launch for this one. So this is going to be really easy. Vehicle assembly. I'm gonna call this the turtle. The turtle? The anchor. Because it's not going anywhere. Is that all I need? Alright. Transmit the data. Transmit renders module inoperable. Restoring functionality will require a scientist. Are you sure you want it? Yep. Oh, we can't transmit the data. Dang it. There we go. Experiment recovered. Yep, we got it. So we're not going to transmit, we just kept it. Alright, we were able to bring everything back in. We got reputation. Alright, let's go to mission control. Boom, completed. Let's go. Alright. Next mission. Launch our first vessel. We'd like to officially start off the space program with a bang, a very controlled bang. Launch your first vessel off the launch pad or the runway to achieve this goal. So all we have to do is launch. Alright, let's go. We want to launch and not die. So to do that, we just need an engine. We will actually throw 2 of these on there. And then we'll, we need a parachute as well. Minimum altitude, we're gonna do 0.2. Minimum pressure, we'll do 0.3. Okay. We want fuel. We want fuel just to be at like 14%. We just gotta get off the ground. Okay. We're gonna name this one Skipper. Alright, and save. Launch. Alright. So we're going to launch. And while we're in the air, we're going to do the research. Set SAS. Set throttle to full. I had to do that early because I screwed up and did not get high enough, but I think we're fine. We didn't even get over 1,000 meters, but we did get off the ground. Let's do observe the goo, keep it. Observe the goo, keep it. All right. I think we succeeded. I didn't even see you bring this to me. When did you bring this to me? 10 minutes ago? Oh, sorry, cold. I never even saw you give it to me. I was in the zone. Ooh. Did we land safely? We did land. Oh, we landed very close to where it took off. Nice. All right. Recover vessel. All right. We got more data. So we got 22 science for that little experiment. We recovered the vessel. We got more fundage. We got more reputation because we finally launched off the ground. Basic rocketry or engineering? Engineering will give us decouplers. Communicatron, so we can actually send data back. A thermometer. Another communicatron. But then basic rocketry will get us... Ooh, okay, we'll actually get some good stuff there. Do we have enough for both? Oh, yeah, I have enough for both. What do we have here? We need this as well, so we need to do a little bit more. We need these as well. Before we get all that, let's go. Don't seem to be doing much right now. It jiggles and wobbles as the what did it say? It jiggles and wobbles. What? It jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. Okay. All right. Leave facility. We can likely raise some money by exploiting the attention that we get of new successful ventures to remind well-to-do Kerbals out there we could use their support and the contents of their wallet. That's probably going to be seen as a bit cheeky of us, so be prepared to face some backlash. I feel like we're doing okay. Now we can also make a space plane, but I don't think we have any of the parts for it at the moment. So, no thank you. Alright, what's our next mission? Ooh, bunch of missions. Okay. So for VACO, conduct a focus observational survey of Kerbin. While working late nights, scientists at VACO Advanced Suction Systems have made a startling discovery. We don't know too many interesting things about Kerbin, and would like to take a look around. So, this is where you come in. We need to test our newly acquired capabilities with focus survey of Kerbin. Go to a designated test site and gather some observational reports. Take a crew in flight above 18,500 meters near Scott's Curiosity. I don't really know how to get to a specific location. What else we got? Test our newly acquired. Go to designated test site. It's hard to get to test sites when I'm not in the plane. Go to designated test site. So many test sites. Nope. Okay. Here we go. Research and development. Want you to test the RT-10 hammer. To perform the test, activate the part through the staging sequence when all test conditions are met. Test the booster. Altitude needs to be 40,000 to 46,000 meters. Perform the test. Activate the part through the staging sequence when all test conditions are met. That actually seems really difficult. Not sure how high I'm going to be able to go if I just go straight up. $40,000 feet. We need to get to 40,000 feet. I mean, I guess I'll need two of them then. Wait. I need that. I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay. something like that. Let's get these fins on there. Definitely not store-bought model. Wires warranty. It actually store-bought mod. Okay. Don't need to worry about that because I don't need to communicate anything back as long as I survive. So we'll just take the goo with us, and we'll see what it does around 30,000 feet. We'll we only need one. We might as well make it symmetrical. We'll do 2. 2, and then we'll do 2. Minimum pressure is going to be 75. Altitude, we're going to say 1500. Don't know what else to do, so we're going to try this right here. This is going to be called, what's this top section called? I forget. This is going to be called Hammer. I have a feeling this is not going to make it high enough, but I think I'll survive this. Except SAS. Okay, so I want that. Then I want the decouple. So that's going to go. Then I want the decouple. And then that's going to go. And then decouple and land. All right. So regardless, what is our goal? What is our mission here? Wait, did I not accept the contract? Oh, I didn't accept the contract. Okay, there we go. Clear launch pad and proceed. Go to hammer on launch pad. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, here's our mission. We need to be flying. We need to be at an altitude of 40,000 to 46,000 with a speed of 160 to 330 meters per second or miles per second. I don't even know. Here we go. We're going to full throttle. Try not to blow up. Hopefully we have enough fuel. Here we go. Oh, that's where I want to go. There we go. Do not think we're going to make it. We're at 10. Don't think we're going to make it. We're at 20. It's going to actually be close. The last thing we could do is we could just fire it. We're at the right speed, but we're at the wrong altitude. While we're here, let's observe the goo. Okay. All right, we're dropping. We gotta get to the altitude. Oh, we're burning hot. We're burning hot. Slow us down, slow us down. Uh-oh. Okay, we might actually be able to do... Oh, no, because our speed's too high.